Hi guys, today I just wanted to showcase a quick match for RTA to kind of explain what's changed for PvP. I know a few of you guys may be unfamiliar with RTA, or maybe you only play up to Masters, but if you didn't see, there's a new update alongside the, I guess the AI assisted pick ban system, which I know a few people were kind of skeptical about, but I do actually, and have been playing through this alongside the recommendations for the AI assisted picks here, and I would actually argue they're kind of good. Now, of course, whether or not I lose this game, the reality is that the AI can't pick for me, right? Which is fine. That is entirely separate from the point here, but as you're seeing here, the system works in such that every single time that you have a pick, it shows the AI off for the characters that you have here. All three characters here are very prominent and very good first picks. Now, again, maybe you wouldn't necessarily pick Renak right now because Boss Runka is open, but even for me right now, and I've been personally opening with someone like oh gosh, wait. With the Shepherd of the Dark DN, which is fine, and again, the AI was pretty good in suggesting that already. Now, here after the first pick, I think is where things get a little bit dicey. Now, I don't think it's super well accustomed yet to Biblis since it's been a little bit, but personally, again, for the list of characters that you're seeing, I think though normally something like Vildred is like, what are we even talking about? Still having someone like Renak or Scales here, not a bad idea. We don't necessarily have we don't have like a super strong base yet, though we do already have the Shepherd of the Dark DN. For that, I am going to take Scales here, and I'm actually going to take Briar, which again, if you saw there, it suggested you take someone like Ran, who's an opener. It suggested you take someone like Renak, or it even recommended you take someone like the Koli, who none of those options are super bad, though again, I would still argue that you do lose a little bit of value if you end up blindly trusting that, because something like Koli on 3, what are we talking about? Now, for this point, I think this is where I would actually recommend people look very closely into these 4 or 5 slots for the AI assistants, because I think they're actually pretty good here. Like, as you're seeing here, all the characters, especially if you build suitably for this, like you have someone like the Commander Pavel with something like a Symbol Unity against this team, or if you do end up having someone like Zeno, who again deals with evasion, or even, which I'm going to pick right now, the Lionheart Sermia in this 4th slot, this is actually pretty good recommendation here. Like, for this 5th slot as well, there's not much cleansing, as you can see. If I could, say for instance, have this New Moon Luna here on 5, which I am going to try. I don't normally pick New Moon Luna here, but if New Moon Luna here ends up being a very powerful pick, I wouldn't be surprised. And though I'm not entirely sure about how every single part of this draft is going to play out, I think for me personally, already seeing the recommendation, not just as like pick this one character, but having so many here is probably what I find to be the most incredible about this tool. Now, I do also want to point out that the recommendation here is a little wacky. I've seen them almost always recommend I ban Scales, like no matter what is on my team, they want me to ban Scales. For this lineup here, I don't even necessarily know if I would ban the Aiden. I think Aiden is kind of a bait pick here, unless if it's on something crazy. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to ban the Sigurd here. I honestly don't think there's a super insane team or like super insane ban that I would need here anyways though. But the reality is what I'm looking for here is that I'm going to try an AoE, and for the tuning that I have here, in case you guys are curious, my Briar goes first, which may not be the same case for you, but I think the fact that I will probably activate a stun, or I will probably activate a counterattack and then one shot, at least to me, screams that they've done a pretty okay or decent job. I do also want to point out that there's a chance that I get cleansed here, which I still don't think necessarily matters. But again, with how many debuffs there are, that's okay. No one's dead. We have a cut. Again, still nothing crazy. We have Lionheart Sermia, and she's able to use her turn here, which I think is pretty good. She is going to take quite a bit of damage, but again, this is entirely assisted from the AI itself. And even with all these counters, I don't think I'm going to take too much damage. I've got my S1 here. I'm going to hit onto, I think I'm actually going to hit onto Kayron here. He seems to be a pretty big threat. I'm going to S3 so that we can try and take a turn. I've got bird's eye view on my Lady of the Scales, so I have book. We're going to seal and unbuffable. And I think at this point, the game is pretty much done, in my opinion. There's no more scaling. And again, this was entirely assisted by the AI tool. Now, for what they're saying, I'm sure they're not incorrect about it. It probably doesn't make a huge amount of sense to have something like the system try to from the base, like try to, you know, rule your every single, or give you like the perfect answer every single time, at least for right now. But for me, I think for what we're seeing right now, I think this is a totally, or a very, very good tool at the very minimum. I mean, again, even from what you're seeing at the moment, even if I could have played this a little bit better, everything that the AI told me from that one draft was perfect. Like, it told me, hey, they're drafting a lot of, you know, evasion here. Here are the characters that will help you solve it. Yes, they didn't give me the Briar, and yes, you could argue, you know, well, okay, hopefully I don't die here. I don't think I should. It's only 40. Ooh. And okay, all good. Even though that was a little more sus, I still personally would not blame this on the AI by any means, because the reality is, I think this was a pretty good draft, and maybe I should have just prioritized hitting the Aiden. Either of those is fine. The reality is, actually, wait, I think I still win here, because I'm just going to S2, and I think the proc damage should kill. And yeah, okay. Even with it being really close, for an AI, for you to effectively ask ChatGPT to draft for you in E7 is absolutely unfounded ridiculous. For the record, by the way, I have done a video where I asked ChatGPT to tell me what to pick, and it went terribly. Like, that video, for context, was like 3 or 4 years ago, which is fine. But the reality is that was a completely, you know, almost, I would say like 75% of the way, you know, AI assisted team setup. And though I did have to have the gear and have these characters built in a specific, I guess, sort of way, it was still successful. And I don't know, I beat a pretty good player here. Again, they're a gold player, and I get you're gonna be like Omega lol gold, but you know, they've been champ before, and obviously the ladder is reset, so gold is not nearly as bad as, you know, people would make. I'm only masters, for instance. In any case, though, I just wanted to point that out, or I just wanted to highlight how cool the AI, the tool is for right now. Of course, I think you should be very careful with it at the moment. And of course, the build that I have on some of the characters may differ, and you may not always have it. But even just as like somewhat of a reminder to let you know that, like, hey, you know what, you may not be considering this right now, but, and I didn't either, for like that last pick where I had the New Moon Luna, that was a pretty good pick. All things considered, having access to, you know, the ability to seal so that the Kayron, well, wasn't able to counter or get his buffs back up, or, you know, preventing the Aiden from doing whatever. All these different things I think are fine. The other suggestions that they had from that last slot were also okay, which I think makes the 5th slot or all the AI picks relatively fine or pretty good. But otherwise, I just wanted to do a quick showcase or highlight of the tool, which I think is pretty cool. And I hope this does actually encourage, excuse me, or incentivize a few players to give the game a tryout or give RTA a try, because especially with it basically hand holding you all the way, I don't think it's all that bad of an idea. Though, again, I don't think you are necessarily being guided on a one-to-one path. You will still need to, of course, have the characters built, have them built a specific way, and also kind of need to navigate through and see what's right, like what's right, what's wrong, and also have the gear for it, of course. That's going to be it for today's video, though, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy,